Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are 3-3 against each other in the last 6. The problem is the 3 that Josh Allen or the Bills have lost have been in the playoffs. Clearly that's, there's something going on here where they're losing these games. Earlier this year they played and the Bills kind of beat their ass. It was close at the end and then Josh Allen ran in that touchdown to make it on 4th down to make it a 2-score game. I kind of get scared because the Bills, like we talked about, when they came out that first drive against the Ravens in the second half, I was like, you guys are acting like there's 2 minutes left and you're up by 2 scores. Like, you got to give 17 a little bit of way to kind of go win you the game. So I do think that's going to scare.
After a couple of those short drives, Tony Romo said it best where he was like, if you're going to go 3 and out, three plays and then punt the ball, 2 of those are going to be in Josh Allen's hands.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Thursday, January 23rd, 2025, years after zero. What episode is this?
53.
53.
50?
Conference Championship weekend. Only 3 football games left. We have a quicker episode today, but we have missed quite a lot. Where do you want to start off, Dan? Ooh, I would have shit my pants if I let that fart out, so I'm going to stop there.
We have to start with NFL playoffs. Well,
wow.
We have to start with the Natty, don't we?
Yeah. So obviously me, Billy, and Danny are Notre Dame fans. Rudy is, who do you like? Anyone?
Men.
For college, I don't know. Nobody really.
All right. Well, anyway.
But I was going for Irish that night.
Yeah. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois sometime in September and then ripped off 13 straight wins. Got to the national championship game against Ohio State.
7 wins versus AP top 25.
2 Big Ten schools, SEC champion.
2-0 versus SEC.
3-0.
5-0 against ACC. 4-1 versus Big Ten to end the year.
Yeah. So take your conferences and shove them up your ass.
Right.
But anyway, I'm going to say it really quickly. I think Ohio State just had better players.
Yeah, they did.
More talent.
Yeah.
You go for a second. I'm going to go.
$20 million spent on their.
Give myself a courtesy wipe.
He just has to wipe his ass right now.
Yes.
Just throughout the day. Like you're just sitting there and you just think, yep, I need to wipe my ass right now. That's a bigger issue behind that. You know.
Yeah. What do you think he's eating just throughout his life?
First of all, let's start with that.
He eats everything. But for him to fart and go,
I need to fucking wipe my
Nah,
ass.
I've been eating, no, just literally to fart and go, definitely need to wipe my ass right now. That's never a positive thing.
No.
that means something's not holding together the way it should.
He needs to have
Like if
tape around
you
his
turned your
butthole.
car on, you're like, oh, I should check the oil. Something's leaking.
Right.
You fart.
Like, he's
and you're
making
like,
noises.
Like, it might be
Quite a
fucking
bit
up.
of noise right now in there. Yeah, dude, I've been eating healthy lately, and I had Taco Bell the other night.
Mm.
When you're eating healthy and your body's adapting to that, and then you eat that, you're fucked.
Well, you go from eating unhealthy to healthy. Your body is flushing it
Kinda
out.
weird.
But yeah, and then
Yeah, when I started eating, like, it was like shitting a lot, this and that, sorry, but then I was eating healthy, good, doing that, and I had Taco Bell, and the next day, all hell broke loose.
your body didn't know what to do.
Oh my God. I was
Where-
grabbing my feet on the toilet.
Where did
One
we
of
get
those.
to on the national championship?
Well, we have not touched anything.
Oh, anyway.
But no, they have like 13 or 14.
Well, no. Before you get into that, but when you wipe your ass, do you fold the toilet paper or ball it up? What are you eating?
Fold it.
I told it.
Grapes and oranges.
You don't want to share?
You two fold or roll? Fold or ball?
Fold.
Ball.
Ball. All right. I fold, so 3 versus 1. When
That's
you
just
wipe your
weird.
ass, are you sitting or standing, Drudy?
Standing.
Billy?
Sitting.
Sitting.
You sit now.
I sit now. It's much more effective.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Billy
You
wipes
wipe-
back to front, though.
Yeah.
He's just getting shit all over his balls.
How far up are you wiping?
You wipe back to front? How do you even do that?
Like people can't
no
see me.
no one
obviously,
can see.
But it's like
They don't want to anyway, I promise.
So you're like this. You're coming down.
He's pulling his balls out of the way to wipe his ass.
No.
I go from the side and I'm here.
How short is your taint where your shit's touching your balls?
It just seems like
That's the plastics in the food shortening your tank. That's another conversation.
It's my problem is the logic of going back to front just doesn't make sense.
No sense.
You're sitting here.
It's more of a
you're
difficult
sitting. Yeah,
task.
right. I think that's worse than standing up and wiping back.
What do you
way
mean?
worse.
I gotta do that,
You just come here and just go like that.
You gotta
and
do
then
that.
right
You
here,
gotta do
but then the
this.
shit's getting everywhere. The toilet paper never leaves.
Shit
Shit
is
not
everywhere.
getting everywhere.
The toilet paper is not leaving the toilet when I do it.
Me neither.
Are you looking back at it?
No. Why would I look back at it?
How do you know you're hitting his shit?
This is what you do. You wipe. First of all, you wipe like.
Are you just wiping blind and hoping that you got all your shit?
Yeah.
This is why you're picking your underwear out of your ass all the time.
Hey, you're the one picking the underwear out of your ass all the time. If you want to talk about that, but
Yeah.
secondly, after like 6 wipes, you start to look.
6? There's blood at that point. He was,
There's always blood.
There's always blood. That's the only reason you know it's clean.
Yeah.
But what if you have like a one wiper? If you have a one wiper, do you wipe a second time to make sure? Or
I
do you
always
call-
do. I always
Yeah.
do like 5.
courtesy wipe. No, you don't.
But-
No wonder we run out of toilet paper every other day.
I mean, you got to do it.
No, you don't. If you wipe your ass and you can feel when the shit's coming out if it's going to be.
What do you think is the longest amount of wipes you've ever done?
Literally, like almost the whole roll. Maybe.
I'm not going to tell you what I've done when I had a terrible wipe experience, but a lot.
Dude, I've had some where like I almost cried on the toilet.
I just hopped in the shower and cleaned my ass
can't
while
wipe
out.
anymore.
Have you had it where you're like, oh, I'm almost done here, and you do it, and you're like, this is like I'm starting over?
Dude, I've done it where I've wiped and it took a long time and I finished, and as soon as I stood up, I had to shit again.
Drudy, what are your thoughts on this?
Do I fold it or ball it?
That's
Just
no way
all-
that's the last thing he heard.
Just shitting in
We're talking
general.
for 8 minutes.
Do you think him wiping back the front is weird?
Yeah.
That's crazier than standing up.
Yeah.
If I had a vagina, it'd be weird.
You used to stand up
Yeah.
I used to stand up.
So did I.
until our conversation.
And I learned from my mistakes.
I think sitting is still a mistake.
Nope.
What are you doing?
Standing.
So if I'm taking a shit, our toilet paper's here. The first thing I get it, and I stand up. I turn around.
Oh, nice. So the ass residue gets on the floor.
I wipe my ass, and then I just take toilet.
Do you have your legs both down on the ground?
I'm sorry.
You don't hike one leg up on the toilet?
Your asshole needs to be spread.
Yeah.
I'll lean.
You're just wiping the surface.
No, you're
You're not
not.
even getting an asshole.
Yeah, you are. I get a little.
Your niece the other day went to pee and got naked and then went on the toilet backwards and set her iPad up to watch it while she was peeing.
Yeah, it's effective.
And I was like, this is actually not a terrible idea.
No, it's not. Anyway, back to Ohio State. The big thing people are all talking about is Marcus Freeman kicking the field goal with 9:33 left, 4th and goal at the 9. I would have went for it just because of the time remaining, but it wasn't as egregious as like this podcast I listened to. They said the two kind of idiots of the week were Sirianni and Freeman. I don't know if you saw what Sirianni did, like in terms of what happened in like it's like a thing of like situational football.
I wouldn't say that.
They got sacked with like 18 seconds left or 22 seconds left at like the 50. The Eagles did.
Okay.
They had a timeout, and it was like 3rd and 18, and they didn't call it. They just let it run down to 3 seconds and call a timeout and throw a Hail Mary.
At halftime?
Yeah.
Oh, he's an idiot.
Yeah,
I think that's worse than Freeman's
That's
decision.
egregious.
Definitely worse.
But the
You
problem
gotta
with
Freeman's decision wasn't a bad decision.
Here's the
his
thing.
logic after made it make more sense.
9, and then you can make it a 13-point game, which is 2 touchdowns gets you the lead, right? If they go get a field goal,
Well, you're still within 2 possession game
Yeah.
because it's 16, right?
That's
which
where
they eventually did.
That's where my head
If
went.
the field goal goes in, which is a 30-yarder, at the end of the game with 30 seconds left, no timeouts, Notre Dame has the ball down 8.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Assuming the game, obviously things change, whatnot. And there's 10 minutes left, down 13. The game is not over. All these guys, all these analysts, with 3 timeouts, think like the game's over.
But you're only getting the ball twice. More is the only reason I think. I'm arguing the other side. You're only going to get the ball probably twice, and you haven't stopped them yet. So it's like, the next time you go down, if it was 4th and goal at the 9, you can't kick a field goal again.
But that logic, if you don't stop them, you're not going to win anyway.
Right, exactly. No,
That's the thing, if
I
you
don't think it
believe
was
in
as
their
bad.
defense, then don't
Here's
play
what
the
was
game.
wrong about the play calling on that. Was
Here's one
first
thing-
down, they threw it, and I think they second down, they run it for like 1 yard or something. There should have been 3 run plays. You should have known you're in 4 down territory, and the pass plays weren't working and clicking. You should have ran the ball 3 times. I'm sorry that they were abusing Riley, but they should have ran it with him as well.
Yeah.
As the Notre Dame offense with the run game that was clicking, you would have been inside the 5 on the 4th and goal. Now you're going for it.
Now you have to
There's
go
no
for it.
contemplation.
I don't blame him. If you're in the 5, inside the 5, you have to go for it. Outside the 5, you have to
He
kick
said,
it
9 yards.
he said, if we were 2 or 3 or 4 yards closer, it wouldn't have been a question. I just didn't. I thought of that scenario, our field goal opportunity to get points on the board and cut into the lead was way better than us getting 9 yards on one play.
I completely 100% agree.
Which I don't disagree with.
Especially
And the thing
when
is,
it's
the
not-
fact that
it's
that's
not-
his logic is he's already thinking ahead. Okay, if we're in the 5, we're going for it. If we're past
Yeah.
the 5, we're
And
kicking
the field's
it.
shortened, so it makes it harder. You need 9 to 19 yards. 19 yards max, 9 yards minimum.
The only
That's
thing
a hard thing
The
to
only
do.
thing I was, because I saw some people like, you should have called the timeout though, so it wasn't rushed. You don't waste the timeout.
You
can't
That's,
waste
that's
the
even more
timeout,
egregious.
yeah.
But my
If you
mind-
called the timeout, then kicked the field goal, it would have been worse.
it's
I would
been
have
worse,
rather
but
than
I
take a
would-
delay a game.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, at the 8, just take the layup game and kick it from the 13, and then Jeter doesn't have to feel rushed because that whole operation felt
It was-
rushed,
it-
and that's why
like,
he missed
yeah.
it. So if you slow it down and because at the 8 to the 13, 5 yards is nothing. If you're at the 38 to the 43, 5 yards.
I told
is a
you
big
guys
deal.
during the
That's
game,
the
I said
mistake there on-
Jeter's rough. Like he was like telling everyone to get set, and his steps looked fast.
Yeah,
Because
he
against
was-
Penn State, all his field goals in the playoff took him about 8 to 10 seconds to get back there and get set. He only had 8 seconds left to get a
Against
step
Penn
back.
State, the last field goal and the field goal before halftime both came after timeouts where he had plenty of time to
That's
get
what I
in.
mean. He was rushed. I'm not saying he should have made the field. He shouldn't have made the field goal, but still, it was
The problem with the coaching, like I said, was the play calling to get you that 4th and goal at the 8. And secondly, it was you need now next year and from years ahead, you need to on 3rd and goal go, okay, what's the scenario? You need to know the scenario before the scenario
right.
happens.
Jeter probably didn't practice.
Marcus
more than-
Freeman needs to decide if we're outside of the 6, I'm kicking this, and as soon as it happens, go, you're out. And
Right.
he needs to tell Jeter, hey, if this is outside of the 6, we're gonna kick this.
Or at least be
So
ready
that
to
way, when
kick.
it's at the 8, it's like offense, because it was kind of Riley's looking this and that. He's like, nah, go.
And then he was disappointed and
Right.
slowly came off the field.
That needs to be a quicker operation, but still, I look back at that game and we lost by 11, and I look at like the fake punt, which I do think again you could go, oh, Marcus Freeman, should have been caught. It was a good
The
call.
problem with right there, I didn't say it before. That was there ever a time with Notre Dame, especially, you thought more that a fake punt was coming?
Yeah.
I was like, they're faking this 100%.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
knew, but at the same point, it still was a wide open, great throw.
Oh yeah, good.
You're
throw.
a starting wide receiver in college. You catch that ball.
Well, you have to,
As well. So you think about that, they got a field goal on that. So that makes it an 8-point game at the end. You go for it instead of doing that. Let's say that, whatever. There was just a few things that, like, if they went this way instead of that way, the roughing the passer. There was
Dumb
just a
fucking
few
play.
things that just.
Start of the second
passer,
drive.
the hold, and the bad
The
snap.
start of the
too.
second drive, I think me and Danny talked about it, but Marcus said after the game, him and Riley Leonard were sitting next to each other, and he was like, I couldn't run him 40 times. That wouldn't have been fair. It's the national title, I feel like.
You could have killed him.
I would have been like, Coach, and I know it's easy to say, but like, I would have been like, listen, if I have to run 40 times and we're in this game at the end with the ball with a chance to win, or they have the ball and one stop wins us the game, that's just.
And that's a guy with the attitude that would do it.
Right.
I think the fact that
Josh Allen would do it, and that's fucking
yeah, that's what I'm
Josh
saying.
Allen.
I think the fact that he landed the ball and threw up, they were like, he might be hurt too. Like,
Right.
I know he landed the ball and that hurts. Like Danny's done it before. I've
That's
seen
a
him do that,
nightmare.
and he immediately was like, I came off to get his breath, but it's like
He stayed in and carried
you're
it 3
sitting
more
there,
times.
and then also
That's crazy.
your running game was not clicking whatsoever, and everything. I mean, that Ohio State team. Let's just put this: they had the better players.
Better players.
But Danny, I sent this to Eric. Maybe I sent it to you too. Quarters 1, 3, and 4, we outscored them 23-13.
That's crazy.
Quarter 2, we lost 21-0.
Yeah.
it's hard.
So it's not like it was a blowout. It wasn't like Alabama,
You lost
Notre
the
Dame.
quarter.
the way the
They
game
lost
played
the
out,
quarter and they lost the middle
the
eight.
way the game played out, it looked blowout wise, but if they would have scored the 21 first, it's just the way the game played out, but it was a good game. Any closing thoughts? You got anything over there? I'm quiet for a minute.
It was a good game, but I was working, unfortunately. But
Any closing thoughts? Next year, I think Notre Dame will have a better team. It's just going to come down. Really, if we get a quarterback,
Who are you guys pulling for the starter? Angeli or Carr?
I heard Carr is the guy.
here's the thing that with Herb Street saying that, he was in Herb Street's like quarterback camp. So
I think Angeli's the guy then.
The thing is, though, is
Jelly.
before Kurt
Peanut
ever
butter and
said
jelly.
that, I heard that Carr went to like these college like these 7-on-7s, and they're like, when he steps on the field, he's a leader, and he won. His team went undefeated. The way where he puts the ball, like even in
And
spring.
Jelly looked like it too, though.
Yeah, and
He looked good.
I'm
I
happy
heard
with
that
that. And the
Angeli-
winner of this quarterback battle.
that's who I want.
That's what I
That's
want.
what I want. But Angeli, they said all through spring and practice, and even you saw in the Penn State game, he could not feel the pressure whatsoever.
No, he walked, and even that fake punt, he walked out there. He didn't even warm up. They said, "Hey, you're going out
He
here."
threw
You're
a
gonna-"
fucking seed.
and he threw a
He threw a
perfect
seed.
spiral right into phase. Was it phase on?
Phase on,
Right
yeah.
in his fucking bread basket.
The corner actually played pretty good coverage. The ball was just great.
The thing is, too, is what this offensive coordinator is that you saw. Use Greathouse more. Use your wide receiver weapons more.
Greathouse was a dog.
And also, we're getting a transfer from Virginia. I'm not sure if you've seen this guy. He's 6'4", 220.
He's a big dude.
He's had 80 receptions each the last 2 years and almost 1,000 yards each the last 2 years. So it's like
Jaden Thomas
use
and
your
someone
weapon.
else is leaving.
And Colsey are
Colsey
transferring.
So
and
did
it's
the
like,
center and the right guard.
Yeah, but they weren't going to start anyway.
Rocco
They were only
Splendor?
started. Yeah,
And
He left.
Coogan.
they're all graduate transfers, but it just shows you how deep our O line
Rocco
is.
Splendor has been there. Is it him that's leaving?
Yeah,
Right guard and center. So like Coogan is
He
one
was
of them.
recruited to Notre Dame out of high school. Rocco
Yeah.
Splendor.
But
Oh, they're graduate transfers going somewhere. You
going
mean?
somewhere.
I thought you
yeah,
meant came in.
No,
yeah.
they're going, and I think it's because the offensive line is going to be. I mean, we had so much experience on offensive line from these young guys now.
the one
It's
that's
not
going
gonna
to
be the
suck
other
is
guy.
Jeremiah.
I do-
Jeremiah Love getting some money if someone else offers him money.
Jeremiah Love for sure is going to have to stay because he's a starter.
I hope so.
And then Jaden Thomas, I
Gone.
loved him. He was great during those Pine Buckner years, but he wasn't a starting wide
No.
receiver. You know, and
Great
everything
House
like
and
that.
Faison are better.
And
Great
number
House,
9,
Faison,
whoever that guy
and
is.
Fields coming over too.
Is 9
from
Colsey?
Virginia. No, 0's Colsey.
Whoever number 9 is as a tight end, get that. Him and
Oh,
Raritan,
tight end, 6'9", Raritan. Yeah.
him and Evans should have been
Is
Very
Evans going to the draft?
involved.
gone.
Yeah.
They
That's
should
what
have
some
been
people
getting the
were talking
ball
about
10
Bebo
targets.
coming back. I'm like, why would Bebo
Evans
come
is a
back?
great
I would.
fucking. If you're out there, NFL GMs watching this right now, I know a lot of them are. If you Mitchell Evans, that kid is a great 3rd, 4th round pick. If he's there in the 3rd round, you're getting a starting NFL tight end in the 3rd round.
I was talking about this with a guy on Twitter, Billy. Here's why Brandon Morrison would come back. Benjamin Morrison, $5 million. We just got 20. Give him 5.
He's not coming.
I mean, you're a top 20 pick.
Right. Well,
Think
Why?
about this. This is another thing with Notre Dame. They're not only here's the
I
thing.
can see if you're gonna be a 4th, 5th round pick, yeah, come back. But if you're gonna be a first
the
round
first
pick,
corner off the board. Probably.
He's second corner. I think that Michigan kid will go before.
Yeah, if you splitting
And it
hairs,
depends
between
on
the
what
first
you
and
count
second
as
corner.
Travis Hunter. So
Yeah.
he'll probably go 3rd as far as cornerback goes. But whatever.
I will say
He'll
that
go first round.
Notre Dame's future looks much brighter than any other.
What is
coach
these
before.
these winning teams? They've had the same. They've had a coach that can do it, and they've been there for years. It took how long? How long did it take Kirby Smart? How long was he a coach at Georgia before he won a national?
How long did it take
championship?
Ryan Day?
Yeah, no, you got to look. I did it.
How long
I
did it
told
take
you guys
Nick
with the
Saban?
Celtics. You got to learn to lose. We lost to the Warriors. If we played that same Warriors team right now in the finals, we'd beat them 4.
But you
Yeah,
have to have a
100%.
guy. They have a guy. They just have to keep him for a very long time. In the next, right now, contractually speaking, he's tied to Notre Dame until 2029. They will win a national championship if he's here from now to 2029.
Manchester United beat Rangers 2-1 in the Europa League.
It's funny.
I didn't realize they were playing.
Terrible.
Let's
thing.
get into NFL because we only got 45 minutes. Drudy, we'll let Drudy have the floor for a second. Ram season's over.
Yeah.
What do you got to say about it?
I just had a feeling it was going to be a tough game for us to win.
Should have won it.
Yeah.
Winnable game.
I think, personally, I think the weather was
Number one factor.
should have been favored on our side because I think if it was regular, no weather changes when Philly played us at LA, we got fucking smashed because of Saquon. So I think
Did
the
you guys
weather-
have Puka and Cooper Cup during that game?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. So I think the weather should have been in favor in us, and we should have won that game. But Saquon again, he showed up.
Well,
when it
Saquon
matters.
ran for he's the first player in NFL history to run for 200 plus yards against a team in the regular season and the playoffs. That's fucking insane.
I was looking at the stats after the game, and Stafford he hooped. He had like 300.
He had a fumble though. That was
Yeah,
costly.
fumble and 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, he did well, but
Two fumbles.
2 fumbles, and Puka over 120 yards.
Yeah.
Even Cooper Kupp, he had some good catches, and Robinson, they all did well, but you look at Philly's stats, it was just literally just
Saquon. Here-
Saquon
And
Barkley
and Jalen Hurts.
ran for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first game against the Commanders, and 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second game versus the Commanders.
Yeah. Here's the problem when it comes to these teams. The Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, and Commanders, the only 4 teams left. They have 0 turnovers combined
And
in
they've
the
created 13.
what?
And they've created 13 as a defense.
Yeah, but just in general, in terms of them as an
Offensively,
offense, they have not turned the ball over. The Ravens lost to the Bills because they turned the ball over. The Rams lost the game to the Eagles because of the turnovers that they had.
The Lions lost to the Commanders because of their turnovers.
Yeah,
Pick six.
at the end of the half. They threw a pick in there in the end zone.
A red zone pick and a pick 6, you're going to lose that game.
Right, and then the
Especially when the other team's not turning the ball over.
Texans sacks and turnovers,
Yeah.
missed kicks. A missed kick should be a turnover. I don't
A
understand
turnover
how it's
on
not.
down. A turnover on down.
Is that considered a turnover?
a team? I don't know. No.
How not?
Doesn't
It's
count.
legitimately
A
you
turnover
turning the
on
ball over
downs.
to
They
them.
only give turnovers to fumbles and interceptions.
That doesn't make sense.
A block field goal and 8 sacks, you're going to lose that game.
Right. So mistakes are going to cost you.
And people look at, well, the Chiefs offense, they had less yard. They did blah, blah, blah. They didn't turn the ball over. They
So
only
did
got
the
sacked.
Bills.
They only lost 15 yards on sacks through 3 sacks, got sacked 5 less times. You know they're converting on third down. They didn't turn it over on downs. They didn't get any field goals blocked. They didn't miss an extra point. They made no mistakes as an offense. You did, so.
Right.
It's easy to say. We didn't even make it. It's the penalties.
I want to ask, who do you guys think has a brighter future, the Rams or the Lions?
Ooh, got to be the Lions. But
Yeah,
with them
the
losing their
Lions.
coordinators, it's kind of tough.
They lost their coordinators. I don't think Goff is a guy.
I think Stafford's done after one more year is the problem.
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
I think Cup's done maybe
But
this year.
the
The
Rams-
Rams at least.
The Rams
It
defense.
sucks because the Rams went from Super Bowl contending team to Super Bowl champs in that trade with Stafford, but the Lions went from embarrassment of the league to the best team on paper to
Super
winning
Bowl contenders.
to winning their conference in the regular season, winning their division back-to-back years, Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, they're
So
Super Bowl
they
contenders.
both upgraded massively. But if you took Stafford and put him on that Lions team, I think this year they would win the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's hard to say that, and you can't confirm it, but he is better.
Yes.
Well, it's
I
like I was saying with the Rams, they had all those players with Goff, and they couldn't win it. Reminds me of the 49ers have all those players in Purdy and can't win it. And when
Lions have all
you
these
get
players.
all these players in golf and can't win it, but when the Rams finally got a Hall of Fame quarterback, they won it.
I told the formula
Same
was
with
easy.
49ers, you get a Hall of Fame quarterback and win it.
Aaron
It's
It's
Rodgers.
easy to say that, but at the same time,
No, that's the fact of it.
they should have been in it last year with Goff. It was bad coaching.
But that's still part of it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you
That's
either
what I'm
a
saying.
rookie guy on a
You're
deal.
losing both your defensive coordinators, and it's like injuries did plague you. But with the Rams, they have a young defense that's looking good, only going to get improved. Yeah, you're losing Cup, but Nakua is a number 1 wide receiver. Kyron Williams is the number 1 running back, and they draft so well. And you have Sean McVay. Sean McVay versus Dan Campbell. I'm taking Sean McVay as a head coach.
The problem is you need a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal who's playing lights out, which is Jaden Daniels, or you need a Hall of Famer to win a Super Bowl,
Which is Matt Stafford, but like we said, he has 1
or
or 2 years left.
Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Has Jalen gotten paid? I think he might have got paid.
Jalen just got paid.
Yeah, so we'll find out. Like I said,
2 years last year.
I'm not sure if they can win it,
Jalen Hurts? Yeah.
but you're not gonna. I mean, Jimmy G would have been their best shot if they would have got Christian McCaffrey, because Purdy, like I said, I don't know what he can run. He was running, he was doing this, but they were beating the Chiefs by 10. Like
Like
you
I
need
said,
guys that are have been in those moments. I think.
If I'm the 49ers, I see what Purdy agent sends them as the first offer, and I call all the other free agent quarterbacks, Darnold and them, and say, hey, will you take this, which is less, and then sign them over Purdy, because that is a healthy team, a plug and play for a good quarterback to go to.
Yeah, the Vikings did it with Darnold. Unfortunately, with Darnold, guys like Darnold, it's going to rear its ugly head, and he's not going to carry you to the Super Bowl. But
And
the
here's my
Niners,
thing.
you wouldn't have to.
Here's my thing, too, so Al Golden obviously went to the Bengals as a D coordinator.
Yeah,
Flores is going to be a highly touted head coaching candidate.
possibly.
But
I think he
both of
missed the
those
vote.
guys, my question is when the blitz isn't working, what is their adjustment?
That's the thing
you
with
saw
Flores.
Al Golden, we had a great defense, but we saw when the blitz wasn't getting there, you had to.
And they
you had
were
to
a
switch.
half second late on every single pressure. Will Howard had like a couple third down conversions where he got like hit or touched and whatever, but still was able to convert. And then he had one where he too much pressure, he wasn't able to convert, but it was a roughing the passer because it was again a half second too late. If they were a half second closer, there's 4 more sacks in that game. It's a completely different game. It sucks.
Well, the same thing with the Vikings. It's just when the teams that did beat them and carve them up on offense, it was like, let me try a different blitz. It's like
They're a
What else
big,
can you
we're
do?
up and our pressure's getting to you because you're kind of throwing panicky
yeah.
team.
We know what you're doing on offense.
Yeah.
But you got something. Go ahead.
Most salary cap space going into this next year. Number 1, the Patriots with $120 million. They're vastly number 1. Number 2, the Raiders. Number 3, the Commanders, who are currently in the NFC Championship.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Chargers and Cardinals round out the top 5.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Yeah.
imagine having a Super Bowl contending team. You're in your conference championship. You won 12 games in the regular season, and you have $90 million in cap space going into the next year.
yeah, I'd be pretty excited.
But I know a lot of those guys are on 1-year deals, but the biggest thing is they're not paying a quarterback. And what talent are they really paying?
Not much.
Their 2 D tackles, I'm sure, got paid D tackle money.
McLaurin, maybe.
Maybe McLaurin, but he's not top 10.
No,
5,
he's not.
10
He's
wide
not breaking the
receiver money.
bank. They said they might get Tyreek Hill.
They'll be breaking the bank with him, I think.
Yeah, be
Yeah,
breaking him
break
out
a
of
lot
jail
more.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 14 kids. You got to pay him a little bit.
Breaking his kids' arms.
Do you have the records?
Yes.
Yeah. So total records for playoffs. I tried to. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I tried to pick with my head.
Me, Danny, and Drudy are all 6-4. Eric's 8-2.
Oh
what?
my god! I thought I was doing.
Wait,
who did I
what?
have last week? Playoffs, the records.
Drudy was 5-1 the first week. He went 1-3 last
You
weekend.
suck.
Dumbass.
I pick
You
Rams.
took Rams
Eric
and
went 5-1
Lions.
and then 3-1 because you had
You took
Chiefs,
Ravens.
Lions, Eagles,
So
Bills.
who'd you take?
I took
You got to win with the Lions.
I
Yo.
took the Eagles.
Billy's gonna tell us who we take last week.
Last week, Drudy took the Chiefs,
Okay.
the Lions, the Rams, and the Ravens.
1 and 3.
Mm.
Danny,
Danny took the Chiefs, the Lions, the Eagles, the Ravens.
2 and 2.
Eric took the Chiefs, the Lions, the Eagles, the Bills.
I mean,
1.
ride with. Never mind. 17 is how I'll call
I
it.
went Chiefs, Lions, Rams, Bills. 2-2.
Not bad. I said last year because do you have our last year's records or no?
Last year record, Eric and I went 6-7, and Danny went 8-5.
Yeah, I was horrible last year.
I said,
Come
'cause
on,
I'm going to
man.
make my pick right now for this week, okay?
Go for it. What are your picks?
I said 2 things. You can go back and watch it, motherfuckers. Going into the playoffs, I said
So did I, and I want to remind everybody after you.
there's 3 teams in each conference that can make it to the Super Bowl, okay?
You're a piece of shit.
What?
I said like 10 weeks ago the Eagles could get to the Super Bowl, and you told me no. Maybe you changed your mind.
10 weeks ago and before the playoffs are two different.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Going into the playoffs, I said 3 teams in
I
each.
said it first.
I said 3 teams in each conference can make it, and I said really it's 2 in the NFC, and it's 2 in the AFC, but there's a possible third for each. The 2 were the Lions and the Eagles. Lions are out, and the possible third I said were the Rams, and they're out. So the Commanders could shock me. And then the 2 over there I said was Bills and Chiefs, and the possible third is Ravens, and obviously it'll be the Bills or the Chiefs. But going against that, I got the Commanders beating the Eagles here on Sunday.
Who you got, Drew?
What do you got? Bills, Chiefs? Or are we just doing this game first?
Yeah, we'll do this game.
Okay.
I'll go with. I'm gonna go with Washington.
They look good, man.
I
Jaden looks
just- yeah.
fucking lights out.
They're hot. They're hot. So I mean,
I know that you listen.
There's no shot.
Obviously, but I said I literally thought the Lions were going to win by 21 points.
Yeah,
They lost.
they did.
they lost by 20.
Fucking crazy.
Here's the problem. Jalen Hurts played 6 minutes the second game they played, and they scored every possession. It looked easy as fuck.
And he's hurt right now, though.
Yeah, he's hurt, but Jalen Hurts is one of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
He's not gonna look bad. He's not gonna. He might. Here's the one thing he might not do as well is run, but they don't have fucking Kenneth Gainwell or Miles Sanders or whoever the fuck else starting at running back. They've got Saquon Barkley, who rushed for 200 against the Rams. He had 2 home runs. So it's like and I don't think the Commanders have the defense to put 8. You can't put 8 in the box.
And that cornerback shut down Terry in the first matchup.
CJGJ.
Yeah.
They have a good
It might have
second.
been another one. I don't know.
Slay?
But
They have a couple guys. They got
Yeah.
a couple guys. Their rookie Mitchell.
the rookie, thank
I
you.
think he
yes.
might be out.
Oh, so then
Who?
I think his name's Eli Mitchell.
Yeah.
Quinion Mitchell?
Eli Mitchell.
Quinion on
sure,
the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out, I think.
that could be good for.
But regardless, my whole point on this is, and the Commanders. The fact that they're even here, we said they were going to have a good season if they made the playoffs. Okay, they got there. We're like, okay, maybe they'll win a game. It's not. They got Tampa. It's a good matchup. They win a game. You're like, wow. Then they're playing the Lions, and you're like, dude, this was an awesome season. Like, let's see if they put up a fight
You're
tonight.
not supposed to make the Super Bowl.
They
this
win
year.
that. No, you're talking column. We're not even. You're jumping ahead. They're 10-point dogs to the Lions. They win that game, and it's like, oh my! Like fans will be like, oh my god, we're 1 game away from the Super Bowl, and it's like, dude, you weren't supposed to be here, so don't temper your get your expectations under control. And I think that kind of rears its head. I think the Eagles beat them by a couple scores.
The Eagles are the better team. I just think
that's what I
I just
mean.
don't think Jaden's going to fucking choke.
I'm not saying he's going to choke. I'm just going to say they're going to run out of.
I will say this though, the pass rushes of Tampa and Lions in Detroit were a little hurt, a little rusty. Obviously Hutchinson and guys like that aren't there right now, so the pass rush of the Eagles is looking pretty good.
Yeah,
It's hard
I
to
think
say,
I said
though.
like week 7, the Eagles. I think, and you guys were like, no. And I'm like, I don't know if they have Kellen Moore, because we did. We said if Kellen Moore sticks to the run and realizes 26 is his best player, they'd have a shot. But we didn't think he would. Give him props. He's running the ball with Saquon Barkley, and luck. It's easy to do when the guy's running fucking. He had 2 50+ yard touchdowns. If you didn't, you should be shot. But yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. I think they cover as well. What do you think, Bill?
I really want the Commanders to win.
Right. So do I. I do.
I thought they were going to win I picked them to win the division. Didn't think that. I thought they were going to be a good team, playoff team. I thought they would get one win. Didn't think they beat the Lions.
Right. Smack the Lions.
But it's one of those things where I'd rather go with my head.
Yeah.
I'd rather pick the Eagles to win and then lose and be happy about it.
Right.
Than pick the Commanders and know that the Eagles
and be like
pick the Eagles.
Right.
Because I just think I think Jaden Daniels is a leader. I think the Eagles can shut down that run game though, and I just don't trust that Washington defense that much.
No.
And then Dan Quinn with all those fourth downs, it's like
that's got to come to regression at some point.
Dumbasses when it comes to the fourth downs, but it's like not kicking the field goal is going to cost you.
That has to also there have to be not even that. There's got to be times where they don't get it.
I think it's legit. Just the Eagles have the guys more than the Commanders have the guys.
It's not to me. It's like Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Who do you think were the best rookie wide receivers this year?
Brian Thomas was number one.
Okay.
I picked him in fantasy in multiple leagues.
Who's number two to you?
Well, again, you're putting me on the spot. Let me think of
Neighbors or Ladd?
Oh,
Ladd.
Who was three? Neighbors.
Neighbors.
And who's the rookie of the year?
Offensive.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers.
Jaden Daniels.
Oh no, Jaden Daniels. Sorry.
And they all three went to LSU, and they didn't even make the conference championship.
You see how much money LSU spent? People were giving Ryan Day shit for spending $20 million. Two other teams spent $20 million and didn't win it. So
Oregon.
First of all, give
Texas.
Ryan Day his respect. Three other teams: Oregon, Texas, and LSU.
Yeah.
So Brian Kelly has all the money, all the players, and still can't.
All the
do
resources that he said he didn't have.
All the resources that he said he didn't have.
But it takes time. But when you're able to spend money and get those guys, like you said, Ohio State.
But he's been, like you said, it takes time. He's been there, and he's been experienced. How many years has he been a head coach? Marcus Freeman's been here been the head coach at the same starting time as LSU has had Brian Kelly. They both have started,
and he's had three offensive coordinators in that time.
And he's already made a national championship and won 2 New York Six bowl games. Brian Kelly hasn't done fuck all.
And when you say made a national championship, this isn't a Final Four or BCS. He went through a round robin
tournament. He won the college football round 1 and then 2 and your New Year's Six bowl game and then made it to the conference or national championship. Brian Kelly hasn't done shit in that time, and he's had all this money, all these resources.
Trophy winner.
Here's the thing:
and you look at this kid now, Jaden Daniels. I'm like, this is a fucking winner amongst winners.
We beat Indiana, who was third, ended up third in the conference, which you can say, which people will say Indiana was third, and you're going to say you beat them. Well, you want us to join that conference, so what is it? You can't say they suck when you want them to, but we should join when you want them to. Penn State was in the Big Ten championship and actually played Oregon very well.
Notre Dame would get
we beat Georgia, who won the SEC
hypothetically, Notre Dame would get smashed by the Big Ten, right? But then when they play Penn State and Indiana, who are their second and third seed in the regular season in the Big Ten, they smack them, and it's like,
played Ohio State in a game.
I made a point to a dude on Twitter. I said we went 2-0 against SEC, 4-1 against Big Ten, 5-0 against ACC, and then 3-1 in the college football playoff. Because you didn't play a Big 12 team. I'm like, we wouldn't play a Big 12 team.
No, he said, what was the conference Northern Illinois in the MAC?
Oh, he said,
because you went 1-1 in the MAC. It's like, you're just being an asshole.
And then play a Big 12 team. Oh, the Big 12 that had Arizona State win the fucking conference. We wouldn't beat Arizona State, BYU.
What they want is Notre Dame's season to start in March and play every team they want them to play. And then if they beat them all, they're still going to say, oh, well, you guys had 3 months ahead of advance.
Brian Kelly left and Marcus Freeman has become this.
It's because he's black. Just say it. You don't have to. I'll say it.
Yeah,
everyone doesn't like him because he's black.
No, people love Notre Dame now.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. But yeah,
he's half Asian, half black. Let's fucking.
Oh yeah, no, it's the whole thing. I was kidding.
Make it clear because he's been making it clear, and then people are mad at him for not saying he's only black too. But it's like he's not supposed to act like he has a mom.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. But for the other game now.
Oh yeah. So this one here. This is so me and Billy have Eagles. You two have Commanders.
Yep.
This one here is like a thing in my head of like, so Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they're 3-3 against each other the last 6. The problem is the 3 that Josh Allen or the Bills have lost have been in the playoffs. So clearly that's, there's something going on here where they're losing these games. Earlier this year they played and the Bills kind of beat their ass. It was close at the end and then Josh Allen ran in that touchdown to make it on 4th down to make it a 2-score game. I kind of get scared because the Bills, like we talked about, when they came out that first drive against the Ravens in the second half, I was like, you guys are acting like there's 2 minutes left and you're up by 2 scores. Like, you got to give 17 a little bit of way to kind of go win you the game. So I do think that's going to scare.
After a couple of those short drives, Tony Romo said it best where he was like, if you're going to go 3 and out, three plays and then punt the ball, 2 of those are going to be in Josh Allen's hands.
Right.
Yeah,
and
let
they
the
weren't
QB
doing
they're
that.
not
put the ball in
doing-
his hands.
And then they started doing that, and yeah.
Joe Brady did that last playoffs. It was
That's
like,
why I'm scared.
It was like he was like, people keep giving Josh crap for turning the ball over. Let me try to take it out of his hands and run the ball more, or give him a little dump off. It's like, hey,
Put the game in his hands.
let Superman let Clark Kent fucking put the cape on and be
they did.
Superman type of
They
shit
did
like
let
that.
Clark Kent do it. They gave the fake punt to DeMar Hamlin. That's their Clark
Yeah.
Kent.
Yeah.
And then you throw a fucking bomb to Stephon Diggs, who
What
was
the
crying
fuck
the whole
was
game,
that?
and he drops it.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, is once again, I mean, Lamar, just his turnovers in the playoffs. But the thing is, though, Lamar had 2 turnovers. Mark Andrews had 2 drops, and they were still in the game.
Yeah.
Because of the Bills' lack of aggressive play calling. One, they beat the Broncos mostly on field goals. a lot
Yeah.
of the
No,
time
they
in the
did.
red
That's the
zone.
thing is the Chiefs
And then
don't
they
make
beat
those
the
mistakes.
they beat
do
the Ravens. They beat the Ravens on a drop 2-point conversion after 3 turnovers, right? Total for the Ravens.
Yep, 2 from Lamar, and then the fumble from Andrews.
The fumble from Andrews, and he dropped it twice. And it's like, that doesn't make me feel good. Against
But the Bills and Chiefs always play those types of games against other teams, like the Chiefs. They had fucking how many, and they were like the Texans were
The
right
Chiefs
there.
don't make those mistakes, and the Chiefs defense is better than the Ravens. So that logic, and it's in Arrowhead rather than in Buffalo, like this Ravens game was. All those things make you think Chiefs.
But at least
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the cold with Buffalo like I am with the
It's not. It's only
Miami
going to be
and
30.
thing.
But that's one
I
of the
think it
hardest
benefits
places to go and
Buffalo.
play.
I think it
Yeah.
benefits Buffalo more if it's colder and
The
snowier.
problem is Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
It's Gronk
They
and Tom Brady.
They coast through the regular season, especially Kelce. Now he's older. He was like, I'm not
Well,
going
he
to
load
play.
managed the whole season.
And then he shows up, and you're like, fuck, this guy is
The Chiefs'
top 5
inability
tight
to
end
score
of
30, I don't think Josh Allen's going to come in here and not score 30.
That's the thing
Yeah.
though, is I think he's gonna. But the problem is like unless Joe Brady runs the ball, I mean, Josh Allen, that was probably statistically his worst in terms of yards. He's like got the most 400-yard combined rushing and
Yeah,
passing
he had under
games.
200 passing yards and under 100 rushing yards.
Yeah, but they were always not in control. But with the way the Ravens were playing, you were like, hey, the Ravens just kind of get out of their own way.
Well, 100%.
And maybe Joe Brady kind of saw that was coming. I just like I said, you can't sit there and not have 17.
We said
be the
that
reason you get there.
With
What
the
do you
Notre Dame's first drive, it's like, why don't we do this all year? It's like, well, you can't really do that all year. You save
But
it for
tonight
the
you
big
have
game.
to.
Looking for
But-
love.
So maybe,
I love that. Tonight, like Riley Leonard, if he would have carried the ball 40 times, that just had to be what it was.
I'm just going to say, at a certain point, like you said, you learn to lose. And I think this is Josh Allen's best year, and he's not been turning the ball over even when he's winging it. So I'm going to go with, and I think the Bills' defense is better than what people give it credit for. I'm going to go with the
It's
Bills.
definitely better than what people give it credit for.
Hey, look at me when you said that. I think.
I didn't look at you, but
Yeah, I know.
I should have looked at you.
I'm
I think-
you.
He wants the Bills' defense to be that, so that way if they lose, he can say that. But
No,
they have a good defense.
Here's what I'll say. Like when
Listen,
you,
Patrick
and
Mahomes
I-
and Josh Allen ball out in the playoffs.
And I said the Bills' defense is better than you think it is, and it's actually pretty good. And you said, yeah, but there's a difference between regular season and postseason defenses, and they've been way better in the postseason.
well, here's the thing I'll say though. When you talk about, and it's not the third turnover on Andrews was a great punch out. The Lamar interception, that was just that's not like a throw where it's like that guy made a pick. He got a punt thrown to him basically. That was a horrible read, a horrible throw.
Oh, Lamar sucks.
And then
That was
the
Lamar's
fumble, I don't know how he just dropped the ball.
football.
He that snap, that's not on him.
It's Von Miller.
But then
Right.
he just panicked and dropped the ball, and I'm like, I don't know what.
It slipped out of his hand. Obviously, he didn't just put it down
And
and
then
say take
Von
it.
Miller, I'm like, cover up that ball because Justice Hill was coming for that ball, and I'm
Justice
like,
Hill played a great game.
I'm just like, bro, if you're a defender, run with your 2 hands on the ball.
Yeah.
You don't need to score a
I'm
touchdown.
going to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Billy's got the Bills. Drew, who you got?
All right.
I'll go with
I'm going to turn Drudy off.
I don't know, man. I gotta go. I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
I don't like the way this is going because I was gonna take the Chiefs. Now I'm kind of like I gotta
What do you
take
got?
Buffalo. I mean,
I think for Eric, it's like if he picks the Chiefs and they lose, he's fine with it. If
But-
he picks the Bills and they lose, he's like, I should have taken the
Pick a
fucking
team,
Chiefs.
asshole.
That-
What do you think?
that- that's my- you
1,
pick a
2,
team.
3, go.
you pick a team.
No,
On 3, both of you go.
No, because you want to try to catch up to me.
No, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
care about that. I know who I pick. I knew who I was picking coming into this, and I don't know who I'm picking right now.
Here's the thing: is I know better, so I'm gonna take the Chiefs because it's like until they beat them, it's like
Yeah.
So
You-
Eric
you-
has the Chiefs, and us 3 have the Bills.
you got the Bills. Oh, this is a turn of events. Yeah, I just think
Sold your own poison.
I know. I thought the Ravens would get up because, like I said, they overall, if you switch the quarterbacks on those teams, the Ravens probably would have won by 3 touchdowns.
I didn't think the Ravens would win because of Lamar Jackson.
That's what I mean.
Playoffs.
And everyone, all these people on Twitter are like this one dude who has Lamar as his profile picture, and all his last 100 tweets have been about Lamar Jackson. And I literally commented a thing that I re-commented on something he commented to me like 3 weeks ago, and just said like, oh, you know, because I kind of said something about the playoffs, like it's a little different in the playoffs, and he's played like the playoffs are different. He's like, get my MVP's nuts out of your mouth, and I'm like, no. When he's doing well, you want to throw it in everybody's face and act like Josh Allen can't be the MVP. But when the guy plays bad, everyone wants to talk about Mark Andrews. It's like if Lamar played the way he played in the first half, in the second half, and played the way he played in the second half, in the first half, the narrative would be way different. He played lights out in the second half, but the only reason he had to, and the only reason that was the case, is because he put them there.
I don't care which half you play it in. And when I look at the box score and I see 2 turnovers, it's 2 turnovers. But when I look at your 13 total touchdowns, rushing and passing, to 11 total turnovers, 7 interceptions, 4 fumbles lost in the playoffs in your career, and you're 3-6, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like
You're the problem.
I said that with Jordan Love last year.
Because he has how many number 1 defenses? This year now he has weapons around him.
Yeah, what do they do from here? How do they get better?
And then
what can they do?
Defense. Their defense wasn't as good as last year.
Wasn't as good, but it was as good enough to beat the Bills.
From
for
week,
sure.
They have
week 11 until now, they had a top 3 defense in every.
No, they had a great defense.
You have the team that can do it. That's what I said.
Again, that's what I meant when I said the Chiefs under 20 points, and
the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs all had the team that can do it and make it out of the AFC. Who shows up? The Bills showed up. Josh Allen showed up. The Chiefs showed up. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce showed up.
Right here. I don't think that's a guy
the coaching, everything has showed up for those 2 teams. Lamar did not show up. Mark Andrews did not show up.
No, both of them didn't. Derrick Henry showed up.
The Rams had what it takes. The Eagles had what it takes. The Eagles showed up. Kyron fumbled the ball a bunch. Stafford, they played well, but they didn't show up enough. Saquon showed the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Lions had what it takes, but Jaden Daniels showed up. Jared Goff did not show up. So who's going to sit here and say it's an easy pick. The Eagles are a better team than this, and the Chiefs look better than that and that. Who's going to show up? And that's the problem with the Josh Allen Mahomes thing is Josh Allen might show up. What's the rest of the team going to do? Mahomes is going to show up.
Yeah.
That's the thing, too, like I said with
Allen.
I think Jaden Daniels is going to show up.
Spagnuolo's going to show up.
Spagnuolo's going to show up. Andy Reid's going to show up. Travis Kelce's going to show up.
Ben Johnson he saw how the Commanders were moving it, and there was going to be a shootout, and he thought, I want Goff to be the guy that wins this year. And it's like Jahmyr Gibbs is averaging 10 yards a carry.
Right. They could have ran the ball.
Yeah, but the Patriots at a certain point, it was like, we got Edelman, he's reliable, he's going to show up. We got Gronk, he's reliable, he's going to show up. We have Tom fucking Brady, the GOAT, he's reliable, he's going to show up. We have Bill Belichick, he's reliable, he's going to show up. Chiefs have the same thing, Mahomes, Kelce, Reed, Spagnuolo. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are going to show up. It's going to happen.
And Pacheco are going to show up. Those guys are just hungry running backs.
Pacheco did not show up in the Super Bowl. But
yeah,
they don't need to show up.
I got 2 stats for you. Lamar Jackson is 0-5 in the playoffs when his opponent scores more than 14 points.
Good.
So that right there isn't great. And then Joe Burrow, 9 touchdowns, 4 turnovers in the playoffs, 5-2 record. Josh Allen, 28 touchdowns, 6 turnovers, 7-5 record. Lamar Jackson, 13 touchdowns, 11 turnovers, and a 3-5 record. Now, the first comment on this is a guy whose picture is Lamar Jackson. None can perform good enough to get to the ultimate goal. I mean, that doesn't you can't not put him in order because they all haven't won a Super Bowl. Clearly, he's been. If you look at those three,
I would say 2 guys are performing, and their defense is letting them down, or their offensive line and defense are letting them down.
Just whatever the case, coaching.
Staff.
But if you look at those
I'd say
three,
the Ravens defense showed up for Lamar last year.
Yeah, but if you look at those 3 and you had to pick, who would be third to pick? It's Lamar. But all these people, like you trying to rationalize that they haven't won a Super Bowl doesn't mean that he's not playing the worst out of the 3.
To a certain extent, I would say if Josh Allen or Joe Burrow had Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and the team around them, they would have won Super Bowls by now.
Yeah, they might.
I can't say that. I'm not going to say that about Lamar.
No, yeah, exactly.
I don't think he'd win one by now.
No,
but I would almost guarantee you Burrow, Allen would have one.
Yeah,
I would. If you said, well, I'd be like, maybe. I don't know. That Eagles Super Bowl, they wouldn't have won that because they put up 35. No way they would have won that.
So let's use that to segue into head coaching. So first of all, you guys grab your phones and pull up the graphic I sent you. I'll put it up on the screen when I do this. So first of all, Jerry Jones has spoken informally to Pete Carroll about the Cowboys' head coaching job.
Heard him and the Raiders are gaining traction.
Okay.
Who?
Pete Carroll
and the Raiders are gaining traction.
Because the Cowboys hired our offensive coordinator.
Not yet.
Not yet. They said that it might be Carroll actually now.
Which I hope. I also was told this morning that people think Mike Vrabel is an idiot and might not he's overhyped because he said, I want to try to run the ball more than 20 times a game because statistically you're going to win games when you run more. And people were like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, the guys got to 1 seed and won a lot of games. So
yeah, that's
anyway.
been football for how many years?
Right.
So do you guys have the text pulled up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw 34 minutes ago they reported it. Okay.
That he what?
That Jerry Jones reached out.
So these are obviously 5 head coaches.
Right.
You can see their regular season record, all that, and everything like that. Which coach do you think is the better coach of these 5? And then you tell me who you think these coaches are. A, B, C, D, or E. Which one would you choose?
While we're looking, do you want to read these? Just read this down the line so people can understand what
No, they're looking at it. They're looking
Yeah, I
at
have the
it.
graphic.
Oh, you
up
have
there,
it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I have a graphic already made. I'm going to have it up on the screen while we're doing this in post.
I'd have to go with, I think, E.
Okay.
Me and Danny, I think, feel the same. Where I'm a big, I like the first thing I look at is playoff record, conference championship record.
Yeah, I almost don't even care about the regular season record.
Right, I
to an
couldn't.
extent.
I couldn't care less because they're all. Here's the thing: regular season record, they're all the same, right? They all are fucking right there.
I thought it was crazy that they almost all had the same amount of seasons coaching.
Players, playoff appearances, pretty similar except for C, obviously.
The 2-0 guy with the 1-1 Super Bowl record and last playoff win being 2019. I mean, yes, his conference championship record is
Above 500.
is better than the 1-3, but they have the same amount of Super Bowl rings, and the other guy's playoff record's better, as well as his regular season record in one less season. So I got to take him. I'm taking E.
I was leaning. My toss up it was D versus E.
I would take. I'm going to go E.
The other guy has been there 4 times.
Yeah, I'm going to take E.
Okay.
Yeah, B to me is out because he's been to the conference championship 3-4 times and only been to the Super Bowl once. I think I know who that coach is.
But E, that's the same for E though. B and E are the same. 1-3.
Yeah.
1-0 in the
Right.
Super Bowl.
So who has the better regular? Who has the better everything else? And it's E. It's E. Is that John Harbaugh? It is.
E's got to be Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Because he won a playoff game this year.
Yeah, he's John Harbaugh.
Oh, I'm looking at his 1-3 playoff record, and
That's my thing is I kind of lean D for the 2-0
Championship,
conference championship record.
Yeah, like this is like these are all decent coaches.
So it's looking blindly. Who would you hire as your head coach? I'm picking D. Granted, I know who these guys are, but
D
that's
is
not-
Sean McVay.
It's not.
I would go D probably as well.
You're going D. Danny,
Yeah.
you're going E.
I'm going E.
Judy, which one do you pick? Would you hire?
Well, we know
no,
you're
Sean
gonna-
McVay has a 2025 win. Sorry.
Well, we know you're getting John Harbaugh, so good luck.
Yeah, I don't want John Harbaugh, but based on record, I'm not going based.
That's
off
why I
name.
want to do it blindly because of narratives about
Oh,
it. And Judy's going A.
Can I take a guess at some of these real quick?
Yeah, guess who do you think A is?
2-1, 1-1. His last playoff win was 2016 Super Bowl record.
I know who that is. I think.
It's not Mike McCarthy. Super Bowl record is 1-1. Last playoff win is 2016.
I think I know which one McCarthy's on here. Billy?
Yeah, McCarthy's on here.
He would be B.
McCarthy is B.
And I think I know who A is as well.
Is Pete Carroll on here?
He is.
CA?
Nope.
He's D.
Pete Carroll's D.
I got Pete Carroll. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, you win with Pete Carroll, right?
He's Harbaugh, as Danny said.
So we have B is McCarthy.
These are all obviously long-term coaches too.
B is McCarthy, D is Carroll, and E is Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Funny how these guys are all looked at in such different lights, but they
Are
are.
these guys active coaches in the league right now?
Yes, they are
Drew, you got a guess?
They're actively head coaches in the league.
actively head coaches.
And this guy's last playoff win was 2016. That is Mike Tomlin.
That is Mike
Yep,
Tomlin is A.
I was waiting. C, I actually haven't even really looked at.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry. And his last playoff win was 2020, and he's an active head coach.
He's won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
I'm not letting him know that, so I don't want to start firing guesses away. Who's won Super Bowls?
It's not Sean McVay.
No, Sean McVay's too young. Sean
And
McVay,
He's
Kyle
also
Shanahan.
he's also 1-1 in the Super Bowl. Sean McVay.
Yes. That's why I thought he was a D. I think I said something like that.
Think about Tomlin, McCarthy, Carroll, Harbaugh, long-term coaches.
Yeah, but he's won a
This
Super
guy's a
Bowl.
long-term coach with the Super Bowl as well.
Okay, let me think about that.
Okay, so let me look at you for a second and lock in.
So fucking Tom Coughlin, is he dead?
No, he's got 2 Super Bowls. Andy Reid is a coach in the NFL. It's not him.
It's not Bruce Arians.
It's not.
It's not Sean McVay.
It could be Bruce Arians.
Nope.
He's not an active coach.
Oh, that part I missed out on. It's not Bill Belichick. It's not Sean McVay. It's not Harbaugh, Carroll, McCarthy.
We're missing somebody.
All right. Who was in the Super Bowl? And he won the Super Bowl.
This is bothering, just driving me crazy.
He's still an active coach?
He didn't win the Super Bowl in 2020.
No, but he won. He has a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's an active coach.
He's active in the NFL right now.
Oh, it's Antonio Pierce.
Um,
He won the Super Bowl in
actually driving
2009.
fucking mental.
Yeah, hold on a second. Can't. It's not. It's not Jim Harbaugh. I'm thinking of.
I'm
It's
going
not
to
Jim
guess
Harbaugh.
this. We're not leaving here until I
Yeah,
get
this is
this.
baller.
Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
When did he win the Super Bowl?
Look away.
Mm-hmm. Roughly.
No. I'm not telling you a thing
I
because you thought I didn't know.
I should have had you guys rank these two
You fucking bitch.
blind because
And
once you
technically,
once you get the names, you guys are going to rank them differently than
the
blindly.
way he's looked at is
That's exactly why I wanted to put that.
right.
Doug Peterson.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
You're an idiot. Think about it, man. It's not
My
that
asshole.
hard. Who's
I
going
mean,
to
yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. Everyone just give me 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
How would you rank these coaches blindly,
Stop.
Eric?
Blindly?
Yeah. A, B, C, D, and E. How would you have ranked it?
Without knowing who they are?
Yeah. Obviously, D, E.
I know who he is. Motherfucking shitbirds, you bastards.
Who?
That is Sean Payton.
Yeah! But he's looked at as the best of those
Well,
five.
that's so Danny, blindly.
Blindly, I said E, D,
ABC.
interchangeable for the first three, kind of. Interchangeable. Definitely D and E are above them.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll and John Harbaugh are above.
And the
Mike McCarthy, Sean Payton,
And Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
are interchangeable, but let's.
Which one's Mike Tomlin? B?
A.
A. First of all, I want to say
Did you make this graphic?
I did.
You are freaking fantastic.
that
This guy's on
was
fire.
great. You're looking great, Bill.
I was watching this.
First of all, I want to say, just as far as names go, I would put Mike Tomlin probably last on that list after McCarthy. But as far as record, this graphic that I've seen now I definitely think he's worse.
Who's that?
Mike Tomlin.
Then who?
All of these guys. He's the worst on this list.
In terms of
I
not
would've
resume. Oh, you're saying now that you know you don't like him. Okay, I got you.
I mean, not resume. I mean, he has.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I'd argue he's second or
He's
third
the only one
best.
with a losing playoff record here.
He's got a losing playoff record.
He's got the same amount of Super Bowl rings as all these guys, right?
He hasn't won since 2016.
And
Yeah.
he has the furthest back playoff win as well.
I would also kind of
And a
think
couple of these guys, mind you, he's been a coach the entire time since he's won that last Super Bowl. A lot of these guys were not coaches for a season or two.
McCarthy wasn't.
McCarthy
Sean
and
Payton
Payton
wasn't.
Uh-huh.
Pete
Had to
Carroll
break. Pete
hasn't.
Carroll's out
wasn't.
right now. Harbaugh's been the most consistent.
Yeah.
That's why if you went Harbaugh, I would be like, yeah, that makes the most sense because he's at least been there. My thing is if I would have before showing this said, hey, rank Tomlin, McCarthy, Peyton, Carroll, Harbaugh, McCarthy would have been last, right?
I would have went
Peyton probably would have been first, right?
Carroll second, John Harbaugh third. And
How
then
many
the
guys
last
have
two,
been fired on this too? McCarthy and
Carroll.
Carroll.
Mhm.
They've been fired, right?
Peyton
I
retired.
want to add this.
Peyton retires.
It's funny enough. Michael said he was listening to the Breakfast Club this morning on the radio on the way here, and Charlemagne the God said because the Detroit Lions defensive coordinator got hired as a head coach for the Jets, and he said he'll be there for 1 year and get fired because he's not successful enough. And he said, "Oh, that's kind of a back." He said, "It's nothing toward the coach. That's just how they treat black coaches in the NFL." Look at this. Show him this graphic and say that asshole should have been fired a long fucking time ago.
Charlemagne Lagon is the biggest race baiter.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
There's
He's a
only two
fucking
problems with it. The Steelers, I
Yeah.
think they don't fire coaches, no matter the case,
Historically, yes.
right? And the second problem is, I think they haven't done him any. Who's the best free agent they've signed in the last 10 years?
McCarthy's basically been fired twice, and he's got a playoff win more recently on a different fucking team than Mike Tomlin.
Right.
From the first team. he
And
got fired.
McCarthy's regular season record is only bad when Dak gets hurt.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
His regular season record when Dak got hurt the first time and we were playing Andy Dalton was shit, and then this time it was a losing record. With Dak, he's 12-5 every fucking year.
Yeah.
Shane got it right away who A was.
What'd he say?
I just sent the thing and
Well,
said,
so- yeah.
who would you pick
2016.
and who do you think they are? And he said A, Mike Tomlin, so he didn't.
But I would just say, because when you bring up Mike McCarthy, you're like, he's shit. When you bring up Sean Payton and Tomlin, they kind of get glazed.
Sean Payton is the most glazed on this. Pete Carroll's. I think people like Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. I mean, Pete Carroll should be 2-0 in the Super Bowl.
If you said names, I would have said
should have.
If you said names, I would say Pete Carroll's the best on second or best on the list behind Sean Payton, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And now looking at the graphic, I would say it's either Pete Carroll or Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Harbaugh, the only problem with him is it's like
is that conference championship record.
It's
you're getting there and you're not winning,
right,
dude. Like, come on.
Like, you don't look at John Harbaugh.
But the thing is, John Harbaugh's 1-3. We gave John Harbaugh first, right? He's 1-3 and 1-0. Mike McCarthy's 1-3 or 1-0, so he's getting to the conference championship too, just not with Dallas.
Right.
But
all those are with Green Bay.
Him and Harbaugh are the only ones that have been there 4 times.
Yeah, that's why I said I would sleep on him.
He just has slightly. First of all, they've been coaches for longer than Pete Carroll.
Sleepy?
No, all have the same amount of seasons.
Oh wow, I didn't see that at the top.
That's why I said
I put that to start the playoffs. So these
guys are all very close.
Peyton has made the playoffs 2 less times than all these guys too. He's only made the playoffs 10 out of 18 times, which is great. They've all made it 12 times. This is all up to date.
Pete Carroll's been a coach for 18 years.
18 seasons. He was there that fucking long. No, because he was coaching before he went to college.
Yeah, he coached before he went to college.
Yeah, he coached at the Patriots.
Wow. I like that.
It's a good graphic.
It is. We do that with quarterbacks.
You learn something new. Yeah.
I think Mike Tomlin, I don't say gets a bad rap, but I think the fact that, he doesn't win in these games, but John Harbaugh's not winning with the MVP, though. He's not winning with Russell Wilson. In games, here's the other thing, too. I'd be interested to see how many games were, in those 4 games, if we have to look at this, how many games was Baltimore favored in?
Yeah.
Because if you're the favorite, not that, it matters, because shit happens all the time. But
this game last year,
they were favored.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year they were favored. Just against the Bills wasn't a championship, but they were favored against Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be interested to see in those games the point spreads because, like the Commanders, you say, Dan Quinn, he's 1-1 in the conference championship. He's like, he had a fucking rookie quarterback with a new owner, a new GM, and a new team in the conference championship. That's more impressive than losing.
There is a lot of more, there's more you need to include into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the way the narrative is. Because with Tomlin, you're not going to have a losing record, though, at least.
That's where, like I said, though, the problem is with his GM, it's like, who's the best free agent they've signed in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Who's the best free agent?
I mean, they draft
Fitzpatrick.
And the thing is, they draft great wide receivers. They're all mental cases, though. So it's like,
they want out with Pickens.
Maybe have a psychiatrist come out and evaluate these guys.
But Minka is probably the best guy they've got. Like, they don't do the whole free agent. Like, they're like, we're going to build. It's like, hey, they're
talking about somebody I saw on Twitter that they're talking about they like Jalen Milroe in the draft. I'm like, hey, dude, as a running back,
I would love it if anyone took Jalen Milroe first round. Please do that.
Yeah, I said he shouldn't go higher than 4th round.
As a Cowboy fan, anyone else take Jalen. I would love a pick to go to Jalen Milroe. And that's a pick that gets wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think any quarterback in the first round.
Speaking of, look back at that first round this year. This is one of the best first rounds in the history of football.
Yeah, when you look at it.
They really there was like 3 misses.
A lot of
this year. Also,
you could argue the Cowboys were one of them.
The MVP selection.
He came along at the end of the year though.
Who did?
Than that, Guyton.
Yeah, he did.
Guyton. The center BB is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, he is, and he was a guard in college.
You know the 5 MVP finalists are?
I saw it. I can't remember now.
Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff.
Yep.
Saquon.
Yep. Jared Goff, he's got a shot, man. I gave everyone.
That's all you need is to be in the dance.
But he didn't do it.
You got to say, having that big of odds though for Eric to make a bet on a guy who is an MVP finalist, that's a great bet.
Yeah, I got there.
He won his conference. He has great numbers. He is not. I
picked Jared Goff MVP, Saquon Offensive Player of the Year, and J.K. Dobbins Comeback Player of the Year, and he should
go 2 for 3.
J.K. It's going to be Burrow for comeback.
1 for 3. Then.
Yeah.
Here is some more trivia.
But it puts you in the.
I guess it should be Burrow.
You were in the fight. You were in there.
I'll give you number 4. It's John Stallworth with 12 receiving touchdowns. Who are the other top 3 for receiving touchdowns in the playoffs all time?
Travis Kelce.
Number 2 with 20.
Rob Gronkowski.
Number 3 with 15.
Jerry Rice.
Number 1 with 22.
Yeah.
And there's 5 guys with 10 that are tied with 5th, so I wasn't even going to try to bother with that. And then this one I thought was good. Somebody put this graphic together on Reddit. Game started by a quarterback where the team scored more than 30 points and still lost. So it's the 1999 season, minimum of 5 losses. Can you give me the top 6 quarterbacks that are there in the top 5?
In the playoffs?
No, I think this is regular and playoffs.
Can you give me the number? Like, how many does the 5th guy have?
The 5th guy has 9
losses in games where
3 guys have 9 losses where they scored 30 or more points. 2 guys have 10, and 1 guy has 17.
Is Joe Burrow in there already?
17.
No, since 1999.
Is Justin Herbert in there?
No.
Okay.
Josh Allen?
No.
Okay.
This is since 1999.
Okay, since the other team scored 30 or more points. Okay.
No, you scored 30 or more points.
Well, they had to have also.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Tony Romo.
No.
Donovan McNabb?
Tony Romo's back, but he has 8 of them, 8 games. Nope, not McNabb.
Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning has 8.
Rodgers
has 9.
Who has 17? They need to fucking sue somebody.
Poor bastard.
They need to file a fucking...
Is he an active quarterback?
No, he's retired now.
Jesus, is he like okay?
I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time, so yeah.
Since 99?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger is tied with Rodgers with 8. With 9, I mean, sorry.
Tom Brady?
Tom Brady's not on there.
Okay, good.
For as long as he plays.
At least not in there. I'm not
Peyton
going to look at the
Manning?
whole graph. Peyton Manning's way back.
We already said that, right?
So you have Rodgers, Roethlisberger, and you need 4 more.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning is tied for second with 10.
Wow.
1 guy's active right now. 2 guys are active, I'm sorry.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson has 8.
I knew Russell Wilson would be in there.
So now you have 1 Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, and 1 current quarterback.
He's retired, the future Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins? That guy lit it up, man.
Not Penix.
I know. Yeah, it's not. No way it's Bo Nix.
Who's the future
it's
Hall
Jimmy
of Famer?
G. He scored 30 how many times? At least 100.
I think he's
From
thrown
what
it more than 30 times.
I don't think he's ever scored 30.
Oh, they got 23 in the Super Bowl, up by 10.
Future Hall of Famer. Does he have a Super Bowl ring?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Vick.
Joe Flacco.
No.
Wow. Good guess, though.
Not really.
This guy is top 3 in every stat.
Oh, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Third-
17.
That is
Oh my
fucked.
Fucking poor bastard.
And then Jared Goff has 10 of those losses.
Wow.
Well,
So he's tied for
maybe
second.
Aaron Glenn's not that smart.
Okay, but here's the thing. One of them was this most recent game.
This wasn't
Okay,
that current.
but one of them will add on to that. That motherfucker deserved this loss, though.
Yeah.
So you gotta throw some context in there.
So, but still, you have.
But one of them is from the regular season when they played the Bills and he threw 5 touchdowns and no turnovers.
Yeah.
So get fucked.
But so Drew Brees has 17, and then Manning and Goff have 10, and nobody else has double digits after that. But Drew
can get
Brees.
fucked, huh?
In 2016, he had 3 alone.
Genuinely, his name doesn't get mentioned enough amongst. When you're like, who's the great? You're like, everyone goes Tom Brady, Mahomes, and they're like Joe Montana. I personally like to say Ben Roethlisberger in there a lot.
Yeah.
People throw Favre and this.
Manning, Rodgers.
Peyton, of course, gets thrown in there. Peyton gets thrown in there. Rodgers gets thrown in there. Obviously,
Breeze used to until I think a couple years ago. They started
when he was old and hurt. People were like, "Fuck him, he sucks."
That's how
I think
feel
Breeze
about
is
Rodgers.
great.
They got burnt out from him, and
That's
it's
how I feel
like
about Rodgers.
maybe
Who
it
would
was
you
Sean
take all
Payton.
time, Rodgers or Breeze?
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Seeing this now,
It looks like Breeze.
I might go Breeze.
I might take Rodgers as well.
In their prime, man, I was dialing it.
I don't know. Rodgers to me comes off as like against the Bucks, for instance. Like he could have dove for that touchdown, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
going to."
that was
do it.
weird.
Give you this
A
much.
Tom Brady, a Drew
How about
Brees
this
are going
one?
to die for that.
Who would you take all time? Rank these guys all time: Rodgers, Breeze, and Ben Roethlisberger.
In terms of what? Who I would pick? As my
All time
quarterback?
greater quarterbacks.
Well, Ben's got to be one.
I would say Ben 1, Rodgers 2, Breeze 3.
I would go Breeze, Rodgers, Ben.
That's crazy.
Ben has the
You
2
just went
Super Bowls,
backwards.
but
Yeah.
I don't think he's as talented as them.
No, that's
Look
why I
at some
said
stats. I
you're
bet you he's got better numbers.
You're asking me who I would take and saying, oh, well, based on what they did in their career. Well, one guy's got more Super Bowls than the other, so he's automatically got to go up at the top.
I think he's a great talent too.
I think out of those 3, if you're
They
asking me
stopped
to
winning
start,
when he started throwing more.
Rodgers would be 1. If you were picking in a draft, Rodgers would be 1, Breeze would be 2, and Roethlisberger would be 3.
Probably.
And I think Rodgers and Breeze are splitting hairs.
Just because
The only problem with Breeze is he's 5'8", and
Roethlisberger's 6'12".
yeah, I'm just saying with Breeze.
That guy got beat up throughout his career, though. I will give
Yeah, he
him that.
did. They all
Took
have.
it all out on that
And
chick
then-
in that bathroom.
Yeah.
For NBA, the trade deadline is Thursday, February 6th.
What? You say Trade?
Trade deadline. That did sound like Trade. Here's some trivia. 5 franchises, the longest active NBA title droughts.
Before we get to that, isn't it? Ben Roethlisberger said something about he doesn't masturbate or something. He doesn't say. He said he doesn't masturbate. Are you a fucking retard or something? Does he wake up and go, I'm gonna be fucking retarded today? Fully.
You know what?
He fucking goes in to grab the fucking, what is it? oh, 2 cents or 2, and he comes back out with one more, and Uncle Al goes, grab fucking all 4 of them.
Well, you had to figure out, Anyway.
He's such an idiot. But I was going to say, Ben Roethlisberger says something about...
Yeah, he doesn't masturbate.
He doesn't masturbate, but he is slaughtering women across America left and right. Just at a certain point, masturbate.
Maybe that's why, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got all this pent-up tension, and you're literally killing and murdering and molesting women. Just fucking masturbate, dude.
Yeah, I mean...
What was your trivia?
He's been quiet.
The longest NBA title droughts. Bottom 5, I guess you could say.
Longest NBA title droughts, bottom 5.
Utah Jazz.
Clippers have 54 years.
They
Jazz.
just never won it.
Jazz have 50 years. They're number 6.
Thunder.
Wait. You said top 5?
Longest. Yeah.
Did the Sonics ever win it?
And they're 6, and they have 50 years.
Yeah.
So all these teams haven't won in more than 50 years.
Yeah.
That is horrific.
This doesn't have Sonics or Thunder on there. So
Pacers.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. No, Pacers are up there, but not top. Not five.
Raptors?
This is going to be set. This is
Raptors?
They just won it in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Sorry. I forgot. I was thinking.
Yeah. 54 years.
I was
and then
thinking-
Raptors 4 years.
You know what's funny? I was thinking, like, did they win? When did they win? Well, but now that you said that, I went right. in my
Fucking
head.
So
asshole.
Clippers have 54 years.
The
Okay.
Hornets.
I need 4 other teams.
It's just sorry because all these teams switch.
They don't have the Hornets on there. I
You
don't
know
know
what I
what
mean?
the fuck's going on.
Bobcats.
They don't have the Bobcats on there either.
Well,
the Hornets are 36 years. Because I think they've been a franchise shorter, so technically they have less years.
That's what
than
I'm
these
saying.
teams,
That's what's
yeah.
hard about this one.
Something funny over there? That is another basic math of fucking
Phoenix
blackjack.
Suns.
The Suns have 56 years.
Oh, get fucked.
Damn.
Houston Rockets.
No,
Never-
dumbass.
never-
91.
90s.
Now every guess I say, like I'm going to be ridiculed.
No, 91 was Pistons. 94, 95 was Rockets. Magic.
No, dumbass. They won in '84.
No,
They won 35 years ago, so
Yeah.
pretty close.
Idiot.
They won?
Yeah, they did.
Minnesota.
The Orlando Magic.
No, the Orlando Magic have only been around for 35 years.
Okay.
Right. That's then they won.
They
their
haven't
first
won
year.
anything though. Because I was like that.
One of their first years around, though, they went with
Who
Shaq.
did you say,
and
Drew?
Penny.
Minnesota.
Nope, Timberwolves have only been around for 35 years.
This is a fucking terrible trivia because we're guessing teams that have never won championships, but they're not top 5.
It's really not because sorry that they've only been around. That the Kings haven't won it for 73 years. Let's put it that way.
Oh my god.
Knicks?
That's number 1. Knicks 51 years. One more
Yelling
team.
at me.
The Atlanta Hawks 66
My
years.
Atlanta Hawks is my next guess.
Kings 73
Oh, what's
years.
your next guess? You're an
Hawks
asshole.
66 years. Suns 56. Clippers 54. And Knicks 51.
And then 7 other teams are tied with never winning a championship.
They just didn't come into the
46 years.
NBA
Yeah.
until fucking 15 years ago.
but at least if you're a fan of them, it's and the Celtics 0 years.
Yep, shortest drought. I can tell you who that is.
Shortest drought. That's crazy.
Mhm.
And most championships ever as well. So just like
Yeah.
And not the fucking ABA, NBAA championships that
In
they
another
count
city,
for the
and now all of a
Lakers.
sudden you're taking.
Did you know that they rolled one of those, the other league, into their Lakers total championships?
Yeah, of course they did.
they do everything for the Lakers. You know what's only kind of silver lining for Notre Dame not winning it this year is that for us, the Notre Dame, the Dodgers, and the Celtics would have all won it in this year. We wouldn't have had it. This would be the top of the top. So like that's great. A year can't be topped, but at the same time, like the rest of your life, you're like, well, it's never going to beat that year.
Well, it could, because then the Cowboys could win one.
All 3 of them would have to win it, with the Cowboys and Knights winning.
And
I would be fine with the
and
Cowboys.
There's some other team. There's some other teams that could happen, but it's just like that will never
I'd
happen.
rather Notre Dame win than Cowboys ever.
I would rather
win.
Notre Dame win than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notre Dame and Celtics are 1 and 2.
I'll take
Dallas is-
and you can remember this if there's a God out there. I'll take one of my kids being miscarried if Notre Dame can just win a championship.
Yeah. Stillborn, even I might consider.
That's fine with me.
Yeah. If I had a
If I have a miscarriage or a stillborn, I'm gonna say, baby, I'm gonna be honest.
I gotta fucking deal with the devil. Yeah, and it's about. But I'll tell you what, it's about the cash.
Yeah. But we're gonna put all our money on Notre Dame money line in the championship.
Said I'll take the blame.
So a stillborn, it's born dead.
Yeah.
How long has it been dead for? Is there a thing where it has to be dead for a certain amount of time? And would its organ
It
still
died
be?
right there.
Would its organ still be sellable?
I mean, who's gonna use a little baby organ? You sick fuck.
Well, I can tell you probably a few kids who are fighting in that ICU.
Stillbirth is a loss of pregnancy after 20 to 28 weeks of pregnancy.
So it's been dead for a minute.
No, I mean if it died at 20 weeks, you would give birth to it then.
Oh,
But I think a lot of the times what Eric's kind of asking here
Is like
in the olden days, they would give birth and that thing's been dead in there for quite a while.
possibly, yeah.
This is not funny.
your fucking bedroom is smelling like fucking mold.
This one lady I learned about this had a stone baby where she just never gave birth to it because she's a Muslim and it's forbidden, and she had sex unwedded, and she was pregnant, and she just like when the birth came, she was just sucking it in. And then she had a fucking stomach pain, you'd imagine, about 25 years later, and they checked, and there was just a baby. Like, it was just literally stone in her stomach, in her uterus, and they were like, you whore, were you pregnant 25 years ago?
You would have to think at some point she was pushing on the toilet and it would come out.
Yeah, I can't believe she didn't
kick it to
die
the
there.
Yeah, you just
I can't believe she
Swear,
didn't
look it
die.
up.
push
I'm
it
not
down
looking.
like
Because
poop.
there's if you don't like give birth in time, the baby ends up, because it's supposed to be born, so it's not surviving on the umbilical cord. It starts like choking on its own fecal matter and shit, and chokes itself to death.
You just made this a terrible story.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't a good one to start with.
but somehow it got dark. It got worse. But I'm just saying,
Choke on their own fecal. They're eating their own shit.
they're just floating in that sack, that amniotic sac.
Just shitting in there.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It is pretty crazy how that works. But if you're in India or Palestine or one of those countries, just don't have sex. That'll kind of save you.
India.
They do that, right?
India, the women, I think just
There's-
the last 2 years they just allowed women to get driver's licenses. So I
There's
imagine they do that.
And guess what? Car crashes are through the roof.
Maybe.
In that country.
Insurance rates have gone.
Yeah, fucking
Insane.
India. All they're doing is scamming out there, dude.
That was
Let's
like
talk about how much of a shithole that country is,
Yeah.
right? They have 1.3 billion people, and they didn't get a fucking single medal in the Olympics.
That's like statistically impossible.
You have half the people on Earth, and you didn't get a medal.
Not even one. They didn't even get a bronze like wheelchair marathon person or something.
it's
Like,
something
no.
weird.
And
That's
there's
what I
this-
mean.
There's this game you can play where you go on Google Earth and you click any place in India, and you click on the map, and if you don't find trash, you win. Because you will.
Is it that gross of a place?
People are literally
Bro,
just
that's
pulling their
fucking
pants down and shitting in the street.
And then you have Japan that
I've
doesn't
seen
have
a guy
trash cans in the
mixing
streets.
food publicly with his feet.
Okay.
I would have speared him like Goldberg if I seen that.
No, wait, is it really that dirty of a place?
Yes.
I feel like it's kind of been overblown, but I haven't looked into it.
Have you met an Indian? It's not overblown. And they're like bad people. Like when you get on like Jingles, or like when they get on like that Chris Hansen show, and they'll get an Indian guy, and they're like, "Do you know you're here to meet a 14-year-old girl?" And he's like, "Yeah." Whereas I'm trying to fuck right now. He's like, "We do this all the time." It's just like they're just like, "Yeah, you kind of look Indian, so maybe figure that out."
Me?
Yeah.
Fuck no, I don't.
Like on a bad day, you're an Indian.
Alright.
Let that beard grow out enough.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that about Indian people.
Yeah.
I just heard their food was gross.
The start end of the show was somehow
the first
buttoned
10
up.
minutes and the last 10 have just been a train wreck.
Wiping back to front is never the correct way to do it.
Never take that. Don't do it. And if you think I'm lying, just look it up. Give it a Goog, and immediately it will say, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
Yeah, and then
Give it a goog. I don't think I've heard
something
of
else
goog.
we had that was good. Life advice.
Watch out for stillborns.
And I had something good. I forgot what it was too.
I slept for 13 hours last night.
Oh, it's so good.
Fell asleep at 6 p.m. and woke up at 7.
No, yeah, your
Wow.
room was closed at like 6, and then like I was leaving for work, and I was like, "Geez, what time did I gotta go to bed?"
Guy might be dead.
I fucking passed out.
Those are the best.
No, not the best.
I haven't had those in years.
That was when you. Anything else anybody got?
Actually, since I quit drinking, it's because you just black out and you sleep for like days.
Days. I fell asleep on Sunday and woke up on Friday. Thought I went backwards in time.
Yeah.
You got anything else? So I got Chiefs, Eagles, Bills, Commanders, Bills, Commanders, Bills,
Bills
Eagles.
Commanders.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I would fist bump to that.
I don't like that the guy on my side is Drudy either.
Yeah, and he's been drooling for the last hour.
Yeah, and drinking a Danimals.
How is that?
It was fucking small.
I
It took
meant,
me like 2 sips.
It's for a 4-year-old. Of course it's small.
was it good?
It was alright.
What flavor was it?
I think strawberry.
Alright. He's been dipping his toe in the Danimals for like 10 minutes.
He just dipped his balls in it. All right, and Bill, you got anything else? Any wrestling updates we need?
WWE Raw's on Netflix now.
It's pretty cool.
You can watch it 5 o'clock every Monday.
No, I won't be doing
It's
that.
pretty cool.
Why?
AEW, Dynamite, and Collision are on Max too.
You're so gay.
You watch that anytime?
Nope.
That is so gay of you.
Is anything else happening big in the sports world? Jimmy Butler got suspended another 2 games. I don't know.
Australian Open's happening in tennis right now.
Man,
Eagle
NBA
lost.
is horrific to watch. I'll tell you that much.
Eagle lost last night.
March Madness in a couple months.
Golf's coming back.
I heard Tiger Woods' indoor league is terrible.
Oh, I'm sure it's awful.
Tennis.
Yeah, Australian Open.
You already said that.
Novak plays tonight.
Tennis isn't the same since
Granny died.
that and Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal aren't the...
Djokovic is in the semifinals.
Bayer Leverkusen is 4 points behind Bayern Munich for the lead in the German Bundesliga.
Yep.
They had a 35-game unbeaten streak, and then they lost earlier this year, like the 3rd game of the season. They're back on a 15-game unbeaten streak.
Wow, good for them.
Yep.
It takes one to lock you back in.
was it Liverpool's first in the
They have won-
Premier League?
Yep.
They have won 50 of their last 51 games, or not won, but have been unbeaten 50 in their last 50
What's Chelsea
games.
doing?
Top 4.
Yeah, they're good. Good team. Cole Palmer is the shit. He's legit. Southgate's a fucking retard for not playing that guy 90 minutes every game.
Liverpool's up by 6 points and has a game in hand.
You know who they
Yeah.
shouldn't have been playing? Is
I don't know how you catch up to that.
Phil Foden. He was underperforming. He was just a part of a great Man City team.
Yeah.
Talking about England. It should have been Cole Palmer, Kobe Mainoo, Ollie Watkins should have got more tick.
Watkins, I like him a lot. The stats showed when the World Cup or the
Euro.
Euro, you compare it to Cole Palmer and Foden, and
Foden was shit, and
Yeah.
Palmer was awesome.
it was
That's
awesome.
basically what that sums up to.
Scored in
Be.
the final.
I mean, he was incredible.
Yeah.
Ollie Watkins got him to the final.
Yeah.
Kobe Mainoo played he's fantastic.
I didn't
midfielder.
realize how good he was going to be.
He's so good.
He's really good.
All right, is that it? Well, obviously our next show is going to be the Super Bowl show, probably. Everyone bring 5 prop bets, any prop bets you want. Pick your winner, and bring a lot of good intel about what happened in these championship games.